What's the market doing in 15 seconds? We're going to pull apart and talk about the making, why it's working well, and more. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
60 new buses on the northern beaches have been ordered.
Wow. Morning.
In
Big news.
news, on the northern beaches, 10 new double-decker buses, 50 new bendy buses coming soon.
Oh, I'm sure that Beeline's going to be happy.
There's some big queues. There's some big queues. How are you? How are you, Chief? How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Very good. Very, very good. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about something that's very familiar, something that you had your hands all over, Mark. What's the market doing in 15 seconds? The making of it and really its impact. I think we were speaking earlier this morning about it, and what really came out was, it's a great way to communicate with the public in a non-scripted version of what's really happening down on the ground. And getting that on that regular update every time we do our caravans on Monday is a great way of keeping them up to date and giving them a look into our day to day.
It is, and something that I have learned, that I was taught formally, was episodic media. And someone said to me, and I think this works for not just media but everything in the world and in life. But episodic is something that's regular, that people get used to, and it's very hard to execute to be regular, and to be episodic. So what we do, if you haven't ever seen it, every single week I run around camera, talk to every sales rep, sometimes rentals rep. So there's sometimes 10 people, 12 people, 8 people rocking around on it. And I ask people their interpretation of the market within 15 seconds. Couple of reasons, and I think it's popular because it's ad hoc. People like to watch it, like to watch a surprise being unveiled, and it's also local and relevant. So it's not been polished by formal national media. It's just what people on the ground are talking about. But the magic, Josh, episodic. People don't realise they love to get into a rhythm that's easy. And this is people's way to get in a rhythm, consumers' way to get in a rhythm of updating themselves on the property market, in a very easy fashion.
Yeah, definitely. And one question I want to ask you, Mark, is, at what point did you go 15 seconds? Like, where did it all come from? Where did the idea come from? I know you spoke about it a bit there, but what in your head just goes, what's the property market doing in 15 seconds?
Well, it's the number one question that I've been asked in my career by people. Um, they're not using those words, but in so many words, it's what people have always asked. And look, whether it's a conversation starter, whether they genuinely want the knowledge or whatever it is, but it's the one thing that comes to mind with people all of the time, which is what we try to do with our morning minutes and our social media, is answer what people are asking. But it was like, how do we do it? And then how do we do it how do we do it in a chomp? Because people don't want to sit there for 45 minutes or 35 minutes for that type of content. But yeah, so we tried it, and I've got to say, if you're not aware of it, or if you haven't seen the numbers of how it actually how it performs across everyone's media, it's pretty incredible. It's been a game changer for our business.
Yeah, I must say, I often either whether it's a friend, I've got a couple of mates up in Queensland, and got most of them all over at the east. And anytime I see them now, it's all that's the first thing that gets asked. What's the market doing in 15 seconds? So, I mean, it's definitely getting around, and it intrigues people. Like you said, I think the raw, everyone's sort of used to these fabricated videos, that rawness, and like you said, the surprise. It's just the perfect mixture for some authentic content and people loving it.
It media's changed. And we were sort of we've been battling with it for a long time in terms of I guess in terms of trending, that stuff happens so quickly. It's not like a 20-year change, but when it started trending that way, we were throwing media out, and people were like, "Really? Really? Where is your cameraman? Where is your mic? Where is your seriousness?" And we were like, "Well, that's not how we talk with people. That's not, when it's a one-on-one conversation with someone, you don't square up. You don't sort of count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live. That's the way. In reality television changed that, but that's the way people started opting to consume their media. TikTok was probably the biggest change that I saw when it came out, and when it started doing viral things very quick, very early in its infancy. People are like, "Well, why?" It's like, well, that's the type of media people are after.
Yeah, that attention span of intriguing content, it keeps getting shortened and shortened. Those short clips, we started, I think, from the whole video boom of YouTube. You had your hour-long videos. Yeah. Now it's all, now they've shorts. You got YouTube shorts, Instagram shorts. The attention span seems to be diminishing more and more as the years go on, because that's what keeping people attracted, is that quick 15 seconds. Tell me what's happening, not give me a report and essay to go along with it. So it's crazy how consumers are changing, how people's how they're consuming media. Like you said, it's an evolving door that constantly changes, and it seems things like this keep us up to date with it, keep us relevant.
And I know, like much like you've said about your friends picking you up, I can't tell you. It is frightening the amount of people that have made the joke and said that to me in the raw. So I can be the reach of media is pretty incredible, because what's the market doing in 15 seconds? If you've just tuned in, we're talking about the making of what's the market doing in 15 seconds and how it was born and how it is going. But it's also like I can guarantee I'm going to the F1 on the weekend in Melbourne. I guarantee you, if I counted it, there'd be over 10 or 20 people that'll say something, half of which I actually won't know. Which is astonishing that free media can cut through, like that into people's imagination and minds. It's just phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Oh, it is. The social media is something that I think is only going to become more and more important, and it's great that here at Novak we've got a foothold on it already. So, very, very important space moving forward. If you look at any sort of advertising, generally it's gone from paid, and then it's found its way to a free source. You look at that, to main TV versus your YouTubes and things like that. It just seems the way that these markets go is towards a free media service. It's just the way that these things end up happening. So I think it's something definitely to watch out for.
Well, look at I can guarantee if that content was served up through email, it wouldn't have the cut through that it's got. What people don't realise in the making of it is where it's actually broadcast, because what happens is, and this is the freaky part, what happens is when that's produced, it's multi-channel, so the channels are made up far and wide. So Mark Novak has Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, TikTok. Josh Wapshot has Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. I call it Filt, F-I-L-T, Filt. So those are the channels that it goes out to. Now, if you look at the following across each of those channels for Mark, across each of those channels for Josh, for Glenn, for Stevan, you look at all that and you consider that when we ramp it out to those channels. So it probably goes out to about 50 different channels on the same day, which is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. 50 different channels. Now, who are those channels? It's like a web. The people that are on LinkedIn, the professionals that are there, are different to the people that are on TikTok. So it's going out to all these channels. It's going out on a weekly basis. So it becomes episodic for people. They get used to it. They look for it. They have a laugh. You may watch a couple of seconds. You may watch the whole thing. And then the nice thing is, normally when you do watch the whole thing, it'll often entertain you at the same time. So sometimes we'll have something a bit crazy in the middle or at the end or at the beginning. So people sort of start looking for that as well. So it's been a big win. Who would have thought?
Yeah, something so little had such a big impact.
There you go, guys and girls. What's the market doing in 15 seconds? Josh, before we go, anything else you want to add?
No, it's probably something I look forward to the old 15 seconds. It's probably something that's not only good for the consumer, but good for your agents as well, because Monday morning or most mornings, you're always doing some market research, but more so on your Mondays. So your auction clearance rates and what's happening in the area. So it prompts not only good things for the consumers, but for the people working in the industry as well. So well done, Mark. You've done well there.
And well done, team, because I've driven them crazy running around in that camera all the time. And I was like, well.
Like a shark circling. Where's he coming from?
Where's he coming?
Yeah.
Have a great day.
See you guys.
See you, mate.